Could you give at Marks with Mike's podcast a shout out? Shout out!
Hey, yo!
What a maneuver! Mamma mia! Are you kidding me? The irresistible force meeting the
Yo, you already know what it is by the sound of my voice. That's right, your boy, Mr. 6'9", JT, back in this piece once again. And of course, I am joined by the co-host El Cheech. What's going on, Bobby?
Yo, what's going on, man? Back at it again.
Yeah, man, happy to be back and all that. And of course, we are joined by the unofficial, official intern, Mr. Casanova.
What's going on, guys? Happy New Year.
Merry New Year to you as well. And of course, we are joined by two other guests on the show. First off, got to go ahead and introduce my man, Pat, representing Dark Match Podcast. What's going on, Pat? Good to see you.
Good to see you as well. Good to be on the show. Been too long.
It's been a long minute. And of course, last but not least, drum roll, please. El Cheech, take it away.
Yeah, rapping right here, my man from all the way from Colombia. Shout out to Jose Tekka joining us tonight.
What's going
up, Papa?
It feels good to be back, man. It's been a minute.
It's been a hot minute, but look, happy New Year to everybody. I'm so happy we made it into the new year. A lot of things popped off. We had some words exchanged before the year went out. We had last minute changes to day one. We also had that nasty, that dirty son of a bitch, COVID, back at it again. Man, COVID has not missed. And I don't mean that in a good way. At all. At all. So if you are battling COVID right now, we do wish y'all well wishes, a speedy recovery. But before we go ahead and get started, thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure y'all go ahead and like, follow, subscribe, whether that be here on YouTube, whether that be on Twitch, whether that be on Twitter, IG, the Book of Faces, Spotify, every single podcast app. You know the name of the game. It's the name of the show, Marks and Mikes. I'm not going to spell it for you because it's literally right here. But with that being said, man, I'm glad to be back. Had a nice vacation. And now we back to handle business. Thank you, gentlemen, for holding it down last week. But it's time to get right into it. So, what popped off last week? Go ahead and give it to us real quick, El Cheech.
Monday wasn't too much going on, you know what I mean? Only one thing that popped up, was that rap wedding with the Miz and Edge, But everything was already, lining up for the pay-per-view on Saturday, you know what I'm saying? And that was pretty gruesome.
Some gruesome stuff, man. I mean, we got to see Eric Bischoff back, which is dope. I mean, Edge coming out to that Brood music is always going to be, it's always going to be something, man. But the bloodbath, man, with Edge.
I know that music.
I like the fact, actually, I don't like, the black blood is cool, but bring me back the blood. You know what I mean? That right there had a more of an effect to me as a kid. But hey.
Definitely. One of the best entrances ever. The music, the intro, that music. Shit. Let me turn into a vampire, start biting shit.
Yeah, just don't bite nobody in public. They're going to think you ate bath salts. But with that being said, man, Raw, for a go home show, it did what it needed to do, I guess. I really wasn't too overly excited going into day one. I don't think anybody was because it's not his first event of its kind. Because remember, we had New Year's, Revolution a few years back where Edge cashed in on Cena. This just felt different, It didn't have that drive going into it. And then you had other things that popped off earlier that week to kind of derail everything that was going on just outside, you know. Of course, if y'all didn't know, it took place in Atlanta, Georgia, sold out crowd. You also had early this week controversy, Tony Khan, Big Swole. Before we, you know what? Let's get that out the way, and then we can hop on into some wrestling because I gotta get this off my chest. So Tony Khan made some outlandish comments towards Big Swole. Big Swole basically gave her side of the story, and she praised the man the whole entire podcast interview, with the whole entire podcast show, because it was her own show. I listened to it. She praised the guy. She said, if there's anything I would say, I'm just go ahead and just summing it up. Hey, one thing they need to have is better work ethic and diversity. What did Tony Khan do? Well, after sniffing a line of coke, not sure if he did it or not, just saying, because this looks like a cokehead tweet. He says the top AEW execs are Brown, me, and what's that? Mega, I don't want to mess it up. Jade, Bowens, Cass, Dante, Nyla, Isaiah, Mark, all won matches on TV this much. The TBS tournament has been very diverse. I let Big Swole's contract expire because I felt her wrestling wasn't good enough. Hashtag AEW Rampage Street Fight. Now I'm gonna go down. And
What the fuck are you talking about?
Now I'm gonna go down. I'm gonna start from the bottom and I'm gonna come back up to the top. So I'm gonna start off with Pat. When you read that or heard about it, what was your initial reaction?
I think, like everyone else, it was just overall just like shake your head moment. Like, you are the owner of a multi-million-dollar corporation, and you are publicly going on Twitter and you are bashing one of your talent. And now what you're doing is you're putting a target on your back, because there's so many potential talent that came out in defense of Big Swole. You have current talent that are currently under contract with your corporation asking you to come out and apologize. Now, some people have taken a step back and said, you know what, that was kind of an overreaction, but I don't really think it was. You're in that type of position. That is not a comment that you should even make or downgrade someone's performance. But I think the cap of it all that really pissed me off more than anything was the fact that he threw an advertisement at the end for Rampage and telling people to tune in for the street fight. It's like, hey, diversity everywhere. Hey, Rampage later on tonight. Don't forget to tune in. So I just kind of like read it. I'm like, what are you doing? You are in charge. There needs to be a professional decorum, and you had literally none throughout that entire tweet. And then to cap it off with, hey, forget everything I just said. Tune in to Rampage tonight. Just overall, just unprofessional and not a good look for AEW whatsoever.
I feel that. Jose, your thoughts and opinions.
So yeah, I think Tony Khan has to be more professional about it. One thing, I respect his honesty. He probably shouldn't have said it that way. WWE goes with saying everything's a budget cut. This guy just came out and said she sucks. But whatever, I don't think she sucks. He should have went about it a different way, completely different way. I agree with that. But I know I've mentioned this to Chiefs before. I do say that AEW women's division is pretty weak. It's gotten way better lately. But yeah, he should have went about it a whole different way. I mean, it's growing pain, so he'll get through it. They'll be fine.
All right. Okay, Mr. Casanova, spotlight on you.
I say the same shit week in and week out. And this usually pertains to the fans, because fans just talk a shit ton of garbage about all the talent, and it's ridiculous. So this is going towards Tony Khan. He might be able to use daddy's money to sign whoever he wants, because we all know where the money came from. But he's not a wrestler, so he shouldn't be judging somebody else's talent because he's never wrestled a match in his life. I mean, he doesn't have any skills. He's management. I mean, to talk down to somebody in their craft, I mean, that's just a bad move publicly and really shitty as a person too, because what has he ever done besides, sign people's paychecks? I mean, you don't see him going putting on a football helmet and playing with the Jaguars. You don't see him jumping in the ring with Adam Cole and all these people. So, I mean, he really has no room to say anything about anybody's wrestling skills because he's never wrestled.
El Cheech.
Yeah, Tony Khan went about it the wrong way. He should have addressed that behind the scenes. He obviously was in his feelings. You know what I mean? He was butthurt, as we say out here. He shouldn't have had said what he said, because regardless of how he wanted to express, but himself, you pretty much call her this trash. You just pretty much just, and you know what I'm saying, meant that with what you posted, especially on a platform like Twitter that is toxic as fuck. And you know what I mean, it rubbed a lot of people wrong, you know what I'm saying, the wrong way. And he should have been more professional and how he handled that. He was like a total dick, and the Adderall probably caught up to him.
All right. So since everybody was so professional with their answer, I'm gonna be like Tony Khan and just act like I'm on the bench real quick. Okay. Yeah, this guy, Tony Khan. Yep, that guy. That's the guy that runs with the Jaguars. Yeah, him. The guy that started up a company about in 2019, hopped inside the wrestling business. Yeah, that guy. Went ahead and signed all these independent wrestlers. Yeah, that guy. That guy who went ahead and later on that night went ahead and told Kenny Omega go ahead and offer the girl a contract. Yeah, that guy. This same guy who previously, back in March, praised Big Swole in her wrestling abilities while she was out dealing with her Crohn's disease. Yeah, that guy. That same guy who said that it's gonna be about diversity and change and all that. Listen, first and foremost, Tony, listen, pump your brakes, okay? How do you go from praising the girl back in March into December just because she made, and to me and to a lot of people, a very adequate and accurate statement in saying, hey, this is where it needs work. She didn't say the company was boo-boo, because obviously she worked with you long enough to not have that type of opinion about you. My whole thing about it, as you, the face, the owner, could you imagine if Vinnie Mac came out and did something like that on Twitter? Oh my God. Wrestling Twitter, wrestling fans everywhere would be calling for this man resignation from the company. They would be calling this man everything but a child of God. But because it's Tony Khan, which I don't know what happened. I don't know when AEW came out that the wrestling fans automatically get knee pass to go ahead and keep kissing this man's ass every time he does something. But no one sees any wrong in what he does. Period. This man can piss on the wall and write his name, and they'll say, you know what? Tony Khan is the best pisser of all time. No one else does what he does. He's the best person ever pissed on the wall ever, the best pisser ever, given the Pisser Award a year. But you go ahead and tear down on the person who literally helped your division. Because let's be for real, when 2019 hit, that women's division wasn't it. And I hate to say it.
And it's still not it.
That part. And you went ahead and had the gall to say what you wanted to say over the keyboard, never came back and apologized for it. You had a couple people upset with it. You had Leo Rush upset with it. And you had Hobbs come out and defend them. People got on Hobbs, for basically saying, "Oh, you should have stuck up for your sis."
And the thing for Leo Rush too, like automatically he's gonna be up. You know it's gonna happen. He's a troublemaker. You know what I mean? And he'll get, that name just because the way before it just he don't put up with shit. And obviously, people in the black community, they're not gonna fly. You know what I mean? Let that shit fly.
No, not at all. Not at all. I mean, I wouldn't let it fly. And I kind of felt like, by him doing that, honestly, that just really showed his true colors. It showed his true colors. This man is a big ass kid with a keyboard in his hand, playing with wrestling figures every Wednesday and Saturday night, and Monday and Tuesday if you watch Dark. But basically, that's basically what it is. And honestly, I'll be able to move on from it, but I kind of feel like at the end of the day, Tony Khan, from the bottom of my heart, and I mean this, and I really want you to understand me when I say this.
Shut the fuck up, bitch.
All right, moving on. Moving on from there. So we also had go on since we own AEW, but let's backtrack a little bit because I know Mr. Casanova had something to pop off about NXT. You had a couple moments. I'm just going to go ahead and say it right now. Harlan is going to be a beast, and I'm leaving it at that.
Yeah, gotta love Harlan, man. It's got that whole like Silence of the Lambs like feel to it. But probably one of my favorite moments was where you had MSK coming out, talking their trash. They want to challenge Imperium, but Walter makes his entrance, and you don't see him really much on NXT TV that much. So he gets involved, and then Riddle even gets involved. He basically says he can't be there, so he's gonna be there within spirit, like the higher power. And because the guy's a pothead, it just gave me a good chuckle. Just because of the look on his face, and you see MSK grinning and stuff like that, because they're all like they got to meet the shaman. So I mean, personally, Riddle was a good choice, but if Morrison would have stuck around, they always called him the shaman is sexy, so I thought he would have been a better choice, but what happened to him. So I thought that was pretty funny. Matt Riddle just makes everything like a comic bit.
Okay, anyone had a big moment from NXT? Because you already know I'm ready to get to the meat and potatoes of it. But what about you, Jose?
I got I haven't really been following NXT much since Black and Gold died. I miss my Black and Gold people.
Man,
But I'm trying to get into NXT 2.0. I catch it every once in a while, but I don't know much about it right now, honestly.
All right, let's go with of course, Dark Match Podcast is on. You have a moment from NXT.
I kind of, just to back up what Casanova said, that was my favorite. That was my favorite moment. Just MSK and Imperium bringing in Riddle, and just kind of tying in, even if they're not saying it, just tying in like the pothead culture. I think that's one of the funnest things that you can really kind of grow on. The segments that they had searching for the shaman. Yes, stupid, but that's exactly what they're there for all of us to just laugh at them. I love Braun Breaker. I hate his name, but love Braun Breaker. I'm excited for the match between him and Ciampa, but very similar to everything else that's going on, and I'm sure we're going to talk about it here in a moment. There's not a whole lot of storylines, and that's what I'm kind of missing out on when I think about just like even independents that I follow. There's storylines, but when I think about WWE or even NXT 2.0, what storylines do we truly have? We really don't have anything that's truly building up, or the long distance storytelling. And we'll touch on that here in a moment. But I think those were my two key points from this past week. And it was essentially a go home show because we have New Year's Evil coming up on Wednesday, and this is their go home show. It's their build up. And now I think the show ended with, hey, I know we've been building up this women's championship match, but let's throw a curveball at you and let's mix it up and let's have a tag team match, and the winners get added into the tag team title match. Okay, what does that do to storyline? It does absolutely nothing building up from there. And I feel like it's this ready, fire, aim that it's been for the last few months with WWE. I'm not getting invested. I'm getting more pissed off than anything. And it's just match after match that has no buildup. There's no storytelling. Are they good matches? Yes, some are, some aren't. Some are just fluff matches. But I have nothing really going into New Year's Evil except for Braun Breaker versus Tommaso Ciampa for the NXT Championship, and MSK with the introduction of Riddle, someone that's been out of NXT for quite some time, is making a name for himself on the main roster. And then we have Imperium with the introduction of Walter, a character that we haven't seen in almost 7 months. And the last time we saw him, he lost the NXT UK Championship. That was the last time we saw him. And we haven't heard anything after that phenomenal match where it could have built something over here to even build up more for NXT UK, and we didn't. It was kind of like it didn't happen. It was like a one-time thing. Now you have to tune in over there, and there's really no advertising whatsoever. So when it comes down to what was my best moment, exactly what I just mentioned, and nothing else. And that's how it's been the last few weeks, months actually.
That's right. He ain't lying. That's right.
Yo, gotta keep it real. Gotta keep it real. It has been, kind of stagnant. I mean, a couple things has progressed. I mean, you got Carmelo. He don't miss. You got Trick Williams. You also got. I like what they're doing with Diamond Mine with the whole Malcolm Bivens basically being Roger Strone's completely mouthpiece that translates everything. I thought that segment was pretty funny. Other than that, like it really hasn't been hitting on no cylinders, like to make you say, "Oh man, I gotta tune in again to this." But if I had to put something out there, I would say Mandy Rose. That's the only reason why I've been tuning in.
Yes, sir.
And Last Legend, and that's about it. But moving on from NXT back to AEW, because we're gonna be talking a lot. Listen, go ahead. You got something to say? Go ahead, Ms. Casino.
Well, two things. Jade's back. Yes, love it. Great match. And now with that match, going down, they had the introduction of Mercedes Martinez. Fucking awesome. Not sure what they're going to do with her because, she's been in multiple promotions already, and I personally think that they've been misusing her in every show she's ever been on. I mean, they give her a push, and then they just basically drop the ball with her. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I hope big things for her. I really do, but I'm not seeing anything good coming of this, except her being somebody's lackey again.
Hold on. So let me get this right. Did you say Jade Cargill and Thunder Rosa? Probably one of the better matches for Jade, if I had to say. She's slowly progressing. My man teaches like, nah, she ain't it. And I can agree on a couple points, but being that she's slowly progressing, I will give her that. But they do a good job of keeping her looking strong. I mean, that pump kick to the face was lovely. You know what I'm saying? It was definitely lovely. I mean, but the match itself, which is going down this Wednesday, you got Jade going up against Ruby Soho. And I'm just gonna go ahead and throw it out there real quick. If I had to bet my money on anybody, it would definitely be Jade Cargill. Is that bitch show? I don't see why they go ahead and make it undefeated this long before they just lose to Ruby Soho. But I've seen stranger things in every promotion across the board. Literally. So it would not surprise me. But Jade Cargill, you are definitely one of God's greatest creations. Thank you for gracing us back on Twitter as well on our televisions. Okay, that wrong picture, but you get you get what I'm saying. It's a lot of slides up here. It's a lot of slides. Jose, you like you had something to say?
No, I'm good.
You know what? Listen, I get the same way when it comes to Jade. Now, the thing is, it's like the match itself with Thunder Rosa was good. And I like the fact that Thunder Rosa is kind of like taking a back seat, kind of like, kind of helping these women out, because before Thunder Rosa, the only person they had that was a leader that could really help those girls, I don't know. Maybe it was the one that Tony Khan went ahead and publicly dog walked. Oh, that's right, Big Swole. When we stand with her, I'm just going to leave it up there. But with that being said, New Year's Smash, I guess you can go ahead and say that. New Year's Smash Part 1, Part 2, whatever they want to call it. It was filled with a bunch of tag team matches. I feel like Teddy Long booked this whole entire card. There was a 10-man tag. There was a 6-man tag. There was an 18-man tag. There was an over-the-top battle royal hang of Judy Bagwell on a pole match. It was a lot of things going on. And I kind of feel like, okay, I understand you want to get people to be seen on television, but what do I say every show about too many people in a tag team match? Just go ahead and turn that shit into a battle royal. Because at that point, you might as well. Look at this. How am I supposed to concentrate? Okay, that is 10 people. All right, that means 10 spots. That means 10 people got to get their moves over. All right, and if you're a tag team, 5. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you got all this going on, and it's like it's so mind-boggling. Like I don't get it.
It's a clusterfuck. It gets annoying.
It is.
It truly is.
It's annoying. Don't get me wrong. It was a complete spot fest. If you tune in to wrestling just to watch spots, this was the show for you. This was the show. If you just wanted to see spots all day, this is the show for you. Go ahead, El Cheech. I know you got something to say.
What the fuck? Yo, okay, we got Billy, Timmy, Jimmy. Hold it. What the fuck was this? It's a clusterfuck for real. Yeah, FTR, they're gonna do the thing. I guess Marcus Stunt is done. You know what I mean? Like they've replaced him with Christian. But man. Oh, look what Jay's promo sounds like an episode.
Yo.
Oh man. He don't seem to be to like this person right here. Which is look at it.
That's
Yo.
shame, man.
Yeah, man. I don't know, but that match, you know what I mean? You know what it was, just to get everybody some, TV time. Me personally, we've well documented in this show. Hate that clusterfuck. What's the purpose? Storyline? I don't know. Just fillers. You know what I mean? So I guess they got their shine. You know what I mean? But yeah, that's too many motherfuckers on the record.
It is, man. And it becomes a headache trying to keep up with it. But all in all, I mean, yeah, it's an AEW match, but that is the real question. Where's Marco Stunt? I got a better question for you. Where's Sonny Kiss? I got another question for you. Where's Joey Janela? Hold on, wait. I can keep going on with these people that got signed in 2019. Where they at, though?
Huh?
Have you seen
They just wrestled the other day, Sonny Kiss and Joey Nutella. And I guess, you know what I mean, they dark material now, you know what I mean?
Hold on. Which promotion did they wrestle for?
Oh, AEW.
So they still work there. I just wanted to make sure because I never see them. I never see them on Dynamite. That seemed to be the same problem with Big Swole. You know what? I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna leave it alone.
I got a question.
Go ahead.
Who the fuck gave Brandy a microphone again? Because she's doing the same old shit that she did a while ago.
Oh my
God.
God.
She acts like Miss Princess any other time, but then right when she gets that microphone, she's got to start talking that shit like she's been from somewhere in some other place in time. And I'm like, nah, man, she did that shit with Jade like what was it, months ago, and now she's doing it again with Mr. American Top Team.
Yeah, she definitely.
First of all, ain't nobody talking while I'm talking, so shut the fuck up.
At the time, you know what I mean? Like, what's the name of the guy? Lambert?
Dan Lambert.
Dan Lambert.
American Top Team.
He eventually got so much heat that for some reason, at one point, that people that were booing Brandy, they were cheering her. Do you get offended? By the remarks about you a black belt, but I'm a black bitch. What was your take when you heard that?
You ready for this? Okay. When she said what she said, you a black belt? Well, I'm a black bitch. First of all, I'm just going to put this out here.
Hated it.
Okay, I hated it. I hated it with a passion because not one, and I mean not one black female I know would go ahead and say, "Well, I'm a black bitch," and knowing AEW is gonna be on a T-shirt. Trust and believe it will be on a T-shirt. I don't know if it's gonna be good taste, but it may be on a T-shirt. I didn't like it, bro. It's like, did anyone sit there and consult with it? And if you did you really say that, like, yeah, go ahead, hey, that's a move. That's look, you're gonna kill him with this one.
Especially for
You really
somebody that's raising a daughter now too, like a baby girl, man. I mean, that shit's gonna be like, in history. So once she gets, the ability to like, scroll through the internet and YouTube, she's gonna find it. And that's just, I don't know, man. That's just something you don't need to be saying on TV. I mean, she could have worded it differently and just, cut a completely different promo, but she had to go for that death strike right there.
I don't know. Yeah, my bad. Whoever wrote that, for
Your
her.
mom's a hoe.
I don't, no disrespect, but there was other ways to get heat, and then again, the heat trying to go against, the fucking American top team guy, you know what I mean? Which he obviously good on the mic, you know what I mean? But why do they feel the need to torture me by putting fucking Brandy fucking Rose on the screen, man? What the fuck? What did I do to them?
Also, there's more ways to. Sorry to
Go ahead.
interrupt.
Go ahead.
There's more ways to get heat than to mention someone that's currently signed with WWE as well. And it seems like every single week they're referencing someone else that's signed with WWE. Brady comes out and says, "You are just a hack job, Paul Heyman," and he just strikes back with, "Well, I prefer Jim Cornette." Why do you have to reference someone that's signed with another company to get cheap heat? It's ridiculous. There's more ways that you can get heat than referencing someone that's at the competition. And then to call yourself a black bitch at the end, you're just insulting yourself. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
There's so many more things that you can say to build heat, to build emphasis, whatever you're building towards with American Top Team, whether it's Cody and Dustin versus Ethan and Scorpio Sky. Why you got to come out there and insult yourself and reference another company? It's ridiculous. That segment did nothing for me.
Yeah, to be honest, instead of Thunder Rosa, this should have been Brand.
Ladies to take more chances.
You know what I mean? Because what the fuck?
Yeah, Brandy really should have been on the receiving end of that kick because seriously, I don't understand the logic behind it. Seriously, better question was.
Reason. What was the reason? I had a reason. What was the reason? What was the reason? I just explained the reason. What was the reason, bitch?
I mean, honestly, I don't know who gassed her up, but whoever gassed her up, please take away your gas pump, hang your shit up. Matter of fact, don't even put it back up. But honestly, maybe it was Cody, because that's the only person I know who will probably amp up and say some shit like that. I mean, if you go back to the Cody Luther King promos, things like that, and you look at this promo, smells like Cody all over it. But I'm gonna leave it at that. I don't know. Maybe this is their foreplay inside bed, and he was like, you know what, do that thing that you do in bed. Go ahead. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm gonna leave it alone because I don't want to. I don't want to step on nobody right now. I don't want to do that. Not today.
It was trash.
It was trash. It was Basuda. It's 2022, but I'm trying to be a good person. I really am. You also had this go down. I mean, you had the best friends, along with Orange Cassidy, going up against Red Dragon and Adam Cole. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Man, this is like an episode of NXT, like a takeover, right? I mean, you had the Undisputed Era back. I mean, and things like that. I wasn't mad. But go ahead. I mean, if you got something to say, go ahead and speak on it.
I love seeing my Undisputed boys together, man. You know, I'm a big black and gold NXT guy, and seeing them all back together, going back as Red Dragon, what they had, you know, in New Japan or whatnot, Ring of Honor or whatever. is dope, and I like the storyline they're building with the Young Bucks and the Elite. You know, they're building a storyline, and that's what I see. Because I think Adam Cole doesn't forget that they kicked him out of Bullet Club. So, you know, something's going to happen. I'm just excited for that.
Go ahead, Pat.
I have to agree. I've always been a Kyle O'Reilly fan back when he was in Ring of Honor. When they brought him over to NXT, when everyone was pretty much looking at it like, who is this guy? I was so pumped to have the Red Dragon inside of NXT. Now coming into AEW, it's built up to something. And they've kind of like sprinkled it in with the Young Bucks. What's going to happen? Can we trust these guys? What's going on here? It's Undisputed Era with the introduction and the association with the Young Bucks. It's long distance storytelling. When it pertains to that match, though, being 100% honest, I've never been a fan of Chuck Taylor. Just saying. That match, there were so many different spots that were just missed, opportunities that were continuously botched. There was one point where they're running back and forth. It looked like he was supposed to duck. He didn't, and he literally leveled Bobby Fish in the face and then had no idea what to do, was scrambling, tiptoeing around, and he threw him outside of the ring. He goes to the outside of the ring, and they don't even know what to do, and they were standing there, and there was one point where you can see Chuck Taylor actually, he didn't even get hit, and he went into the corner because that's where he was supposed to be in the spot. It was just very sloppy, and it was like everyone else trying to make up for him. Personally, I've never been a fan of him. I don't get it. I know it's probably going to get me some heat. I'm not a fan of Chuck Taylor. And that match, which had a big emphasis with the Best Friends and the AEW version of Black and Gold, at this point, it didn't do anything for me. It made Undisputed Era look strong, but made the Best Friends kind of look a couple steps back.
Yeah, you can really, really see the big gap in between and me, Cheech, Mr. Casanova, and even Dre, who said the same thing. He said you can really see, the difference in styles. You can tell who went through the PC. Speaking of Dre, if you see him, please go ahead and dial this number right here. It's been missing. Please, if you find him. Matter of fact, you may find him with the juice box in his hand. But
hashtag New Year, no Dre.
Is that like the same call-in number from like the movie Don't Look Up or something? You guys
no
seen
juice.
That?
Well, I mean, I got to say something now. Love the fact that, the guys are back together, but you can tell something's going to implode between, the Young Bucks and Red Dragon with Adam Cole. Just because, he took that shot to the face and then, the Bucks are on the outside. Say, hey, man, what'd you do that for? What was that all about? So with, about getting heat from, Chuck Taylor, you saying that, you didn't want to get heat. But, see, on this show, I say fuck Kenny Omega loud and proud. And I've never liked the Young Bucks, so fuck those guys, too. I hope that they kick the shit out of them. I hope they kick the shit out of them. And that's going to be the end of that right there. And they're going to be off TV for a while because I'm tired of seeing them. They don't do nothing for me.
I am definitely with that, man. I am definitely with that. But my final opinion on this, man, just to piggyback off what you said, well, both of y'all said, happy to see NXT on AEW with the Undisputed Era. But, man, that match was as sloppy as two fat girls trying to share a sandwich. It ain't happening, okay? It's gonna be pieces everywhere, okay?
Man, I thought you were gonna go Pornhub on that one for a second there.
Nah, man.
Yeah, shout out to Smacking It Raw.
Smacking It Raw podcast, the number one podcast on Pornhub.
Like I was gonna say about that match. I'm all about Red Dragon. I was pumped, once. They actually together, because to me, Kyle O'Reilly, I think that wall behind me got more personality than him, so he needs, the tag team. So I think it's going to be, it's going to be dope, moving forward. The Adam Cole, I don't know if they're going to eventually Elite, Kenny Omega come back. Who's gonna be heel? Who's gonna be faces? Or is it gonna be a swerve and Red Dragon, combine with somebody else and Adam Cole stay with the Elite and Kenny Omega get more time off? You know what I'm saying? Because to be honest, there's nobody else that could fit that, the third person with the Young Bucks other than Kenny Omega or Adam Cole. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because what is it that the dude, the camera guy, he ain't gonna cut it. You know what I mean? Yeah, Brandon or Mr. Damn, what was his name?
I call him Young Boy.
The young boy. Fuck, not him. The other guy. That was with Kenny Omega. I forgot his name now. Oh, Nagasaki, Nakayama or Nakasuma. What the fuck was his name?
It was Michael something.
Oh, Nakasawa.
Nakazawa,
Yeah.
that's what it is.
See,
There you go. Yeah.
I've been saying this for a while. I wish they would do an interpromotional thing with Japan and bring God in there just so they could beat the shit out of Kenny Omega and the Bucks. Like I would love to see that. Just to have them come up for like a couple shows and just to have like an old versus new feud, just to tear them apart. Exactly.
Oh, that'd be dope. But you know what I mean? It's a lot of egos coming apart.
I
You
can
know what I
see
mean?
it. I
With
can.
Dave as a person, maybe.
Isn't that what the
Clearly.
E inside of AEW stands for? All Ego Wrestling?
Now I like that. I mean, but that seems to be the case. I mean, it really does. But just to go ahead and the touch back what you were saying before we move off of AEW. But there's more, of course. I mean, there's the bloodbath that we had with what was it, Ty Conti and what's that little girl name? I always get her name mixed up.
The bunny.
Allie.
The the rabbit. Yeah, her. So the bunny. Look, I'm only calling her the rabbit because there's only one bunny that we actually like rock with. That's Bad Bunny. I'm sorry, just have to throw it out there. But no, that match was good. But guess what? That was filled with a bunch of clusterfucks as well. A knee to the face. And just to backtrack on what Tony Khan said, I'm sorry, I'm gonna keep bringing it up because he brought it up and he didn't take it down. She was, I let her go. I felt her wrestling wasn't good enough. If you watch this past week's New Year's Smash, you know exactly what I'm talking about, where she damn near, I don't know, could have killed the girl. But, I mean, it seems to me, and it's been this way in wrestling for a while, but even more so now. Boy, if you bleed in a match, you are over. If you have a face full of blood, you are over. And your wrestling skills can be, quote unquote, not all that good. But man, are you over. And prime example was this what happened with Tay Conti. And you go back to the current AEW's women's champion, Britt Baker. Because before she bled, even before she bled, the only person that got her over was Big Swole. And Britt Baker was injured, right? Yeah, she was injured, right? With a leg injury, right?
Yeah.
And got all that TV time. But I digress. I'm gonna move on from it. New Year Smash was, I mean, it's kind of in the name of the show. I mean, it was a smash. Was it a hit? I don't know. It all depends on to what you like to digest. Me personally, there's a couple things that I probably would have easily shitted out as soon as it hit my palate. But certain things I would have let sit.
Yeah. But talking about your palate, check out Willie's World, man. Colombian cuisine, bro. They're popping.
Hey.
You know what I mean? Check them out.
Love that promo.
Yeah. Let them know.
Make sure. But listen, AEW unfortunately cannot seem to stay relevant. I'm not gonna say stay relevant. They can't make their own waves without riding someone else's waves. It goes back to what Pat was saying, back to what Jose was saying, back to what Mr. Casanova, El Cheech, myself. You show me one AEW show since its inception that they have not mentioned WWE, and I'll give you $100. I will give you $100 out my pocket, crispy, clean, blue face. If you can show me one show that they didn't either mention them directly or indirectly, I have $100. But until then, I'll wait. They do not exist unless they mention the other person's name. Okay? It's one big glorified episode of Being the Elite with wrestling on it. That's all it is. And it took
He ain't lying.
It took me 3 years to realize that. You know why it took me 3 years? Because I didn't watch Being the Elite. I had to actually go back to understand some of these storylines that happen on AEW. And it's like, wait a minute. You mean to tell me all these years this is what y'all been doing on y'all YouTube show? And
Enough! Silence! I can't take this shit no more.
I can't take it. I cannot take it. But speaking of not taking it, I ain't gonna take it to the extreme. I am gonna take it to day one, though. I am gonna take it to day one. Shout out to Impact Wrestling. Shout out to Impact Wrestling for selling out Hard to Kill. I will go ahead and say that real quick. That's happening this weekend. Triple threat match. Mac Cardona. You also got W. Morrissey in the match. Go ahead, Miss Casanova.
I was just gonna say basically, Impact and SmackDown were just like the review of the year show. But within the end of Impact, it did show that Su Yung is pregnant. She's going to have a baby from another dimension, even though we really know her husband is. So congrats to Su Yung and Rich Swann.
And congrats. Clapping cheeks, all 2021. Definitely shout out to them. And definitely speedy recovery to Rich Swann. He also got the Omarion variant of COVID.
Man.
Yeah, so one simple touch and it does it. But
yeah,
go ahead.
I was gonna say that Omarion thing, you know.
That shit I gave you last week, nigga, it's nothing, nigga. It's nothing. It's nothing, nigga. Nigga, it's nothing. This shit right here, nigga. This shit right here, nigga. Right here. This shit, nigga. This shit here, nigga.
Yeah. Every other day. You know what I mean? They just announced another one yesterday. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy. Omarion is everywhere, bro.
I was just listening to that stand up the other day too.
Listen, man, I don't know, but it seemed like COVID switched up like the faces on the black and white video from Michael Jackson. Like it's a new variant every few seconds.
It's white or black.
It's black. It's black. It just changed faces. That's COVID. Speaking of COVID, day one could not even be day one because COVID. If y'all didn't know, Roman Reigns went ahead and posted he wanted to be there for day one. Unfortunately, he had contracted COVID, and that just threw the plans out of the window because the main event match that was advertised that night was going to be Brock versus Roman Reigns, but COVID had other plans. But you know what? Never fear, because listen, they end up making this a fatal 5-way. Listen, the deck was already stacked against Biggie. Okay,
going in.
He had 25% chance at first, at best, of winning that match. You add in the Brock Lesnar, then your chances automatically decrease to 13 or the 3%, and then you take the fact that he's a real man. No, that's one Scott Steiner. But if you look at it, man,
hashtag Steiner math.
If you look
Steiner math,
it's
the only math I use.
Bro, Hall of Famers.
He would have won if Roman Reigns would have still been there to face Brock Lesnar. I guarantee Big E would have retained that title. But just because, that's the reason why it happened. Because they had to flip-flop everything around to make it work.
And I don't know because, I mean, day one started off hot. Go ahead, Pat.
Yeah, you are 100% correct because Big E was going to win that match. Why? Because WWE on Fox fucked up and actually posted that Big E retained versus Bobby Lashley, Kevin Owens, and Seth Rollins. And the post was up for 1.5 minutes before it was taken down. They went to post that that Brock Lesnar was added to the match, but they fucked up and posted that he retained. They uploaded the wrong post. There's actually pictures of it out. I wish I had it. I wish I could share it right now. I have it inside of my phone. My phone's over there. But yeah, they literally posted that Big E was going to retain. That was the plan going into the evening. Then at 6 o'clock, they added Brock Lesnar to the match. Now, granted, I know we're going to talk about it, but that was a fantastic match. I'm not disappointed in it. Am I disappointed in the ending? Absolutely. But that was a fantastic match nonetheless. But going into it, full day, knowing you're going to win, and then, hey, Swerve, you're not walking out with it. It's now going to Brock Lesnar, where we have no storyline. We're going to shit on everything that we build on the other show, and we're just going to come over here and we're just going to hand him the title. Are you cool with that? No, I'm not going to be fucking cool with that, and I'm not cool with it. It's ridiculous.
What the fuck, y'all? God damn! God damn!
And that was literally Big E's reaction when he found out that Brock Lesnar was added to the match. Because anytime you add a Brock Lesnar to a match, you already know what it is. You can't stop the rain. Listen, okay. Anytime he's added to a match, you already know what it is. Now, I'm gonna be honest, man. Like me personally, day one started off out the gate right. I mean, you had the Usos versus the New Day. The crowd was hot. Okay, they was hot for that one. The crowd was into it. The match was immaculate. Anytime these two link up in a match, it is guaranteed to be a show stealer, and that they did. They stole the show. Yeah. It was so hot that it was hard to follow with every other match into the main event. How do you open up with a show with a match that hot and say, go ahead and follow that? You can't. You cannot open up I understand what a tag team championships weigh in at on the scale of titles and importance. I know with a tag team match, you throw something like that in the beginning of the show. But man, listen, for the sake of that card, I probably personally would have made that match second or third. But yeah, you had King Woods, you had Kofi, you had Jay, you had Jimmy come out there. It was WWE day one. And of course, if you know the Usos, they've been down since day one-ish. So when you seen that, you already knew what it was. Listen, when they pulled out the 3D and called it the 1D, I like that. I mean, granted, it's not nothing that I've never seen before, but seeing the Usos do it and adding it to their arsenal, and then to get the blessing,
yeah,
I can rock with that.
They called it too, 3D. Yeah, definitely. They definitely showed out and did their thing. You know what I mean? I know nobody gonna talk about the pre-show, but in the pre-show you have people that shoot. It's a sad story that they actually on the pre-show. You know what I mean? Because the perception is like it don't matter, even though that had no storyline. But that tag team division in SmackDown, it could be a lot better. You got Cesaro now tagging with Ricochet and all that, but the Usos, you know what I mean? They, first ballot Hall of Famers. When it's all said and done with everything that they've done throughout the years, and they have reinvented themselves. And this pay-per-view pretty much is named after them. You know what I mean?
Nah, I feel that. But everything else that followed up after, of course, the Usos retained. They walked out with the championship match. And I think the one that they walked out with the titles after the championship match, I should say. And then, of course, you already mentioned Ridge Holland and Ricochet going up against Sheamus.
And his nose got broke.
Yeah.
What's your take on that? People saying that Ricochet is dangerous to work with.
Nah, I mean, I don't think he's dangerous per se because he's one of the most graceful, like Lucha Libre-esque guys in there. I mean, he's never had problems with anybody. I mean, just because, he was flipped and then, he landed just a centimeter too far in he crunched his nose. I mean, shit happens all the time. It's not like it's not going to heal. I'm sure he said he was sorry. I mean, that's the shit that you don't see like after matches because, you know, a lot of those guys are really close with each other and they do apologize when, you know, fuck ups happen. So I guarantee it's not going to be a big deal.
Oh, and now Sheamus and Rich Holland can get matching masks too. So now they can add a new persona to their tag team. But yeah, accidents happen, and saying that Ricochet is dirty or he's dangerous to be in the ring with. Okay, where's Nia Jax? Let's list off 500 people that have mentioned that they don't want to be in the ring with her because she's dangerous. But yet one accident happens in all the years that Ricochet's been here, and automatically he's dangerous because of one fuck up. No, he's not dangerous. That could have happened to anybody. Put anyone in that situation. With how close they were, I'll let you get to that graphic here in a moment. But with how close he was, that would have happened to anybody. No matter who the superstar was, that landing would have been gruesome no matter who it was.
And technically Cesaro was the one that flipped him, so it's not like he did it by himself. So don't leave the man out. I mean, Cesaro was part of that accident too.
Yeah, and the thing is, that's how some fans will dictate stories, you know what I mean? And they keep following, oh, he's dangerous or whatever, and all this, you know what I mean? Like, he just, you know what I mean? Unfortunately, that happened, but I'm down with Darkman over here, you know what I mean? They both get masked. Fucking the Batman's about to come out. Like, fuck that shit, you know what I mean? Be like the Night Crusader and shit from Ireland. And a multi-universe shit, you know what I mean?
Like that movie, The Man in the Iron Mask.
Oh, there you go. I seen that movie at a plane. That bitch is long.
That's Titanic.
I downloaded that on my way to Vegas. No joke. That was a month ago.
Yeah.
I was gonna say though, I think the pay-per-view was good, but like you said about the Usos match, I mean that one was just like off the charts, like just for being the beginning match on the main show. So in my personal view, all the matches in between, with the exception of the main event, all the matches in between should have been shortened a little bit. I think some just dragged on a little too long. I mean,
but to me, everything was like they reported Roman Reigns, you know, having COVID like at 6 in the afternoon. Like whatever was planned for that main event went out the door. You know what I'm saying? But whatever big plans they had with Brock and Roman Reigns, so they have to shuffle all that. So if you notice, they barely do backstage interviews or segments in pay-per-views. You know what I mean? They kind of drifted away from that. But starting like JT and I were talking earlier, it started kind of at WrestleMania. You know what I mean? With the pandemic and all that stuff, they started doing like more backstage just to fill in time. And to me, it was one of them things that some matches probably didn't have that much time, that they have to go a little longer. You know what I mean? And that's, to me, it was kind of like that. You know what I mean? That messed everything up. You know what I'm saying? But to me, the show, you know what I mean? It was solid in the sense of the fans. The fans were into it, and the shots looked like, it was packed house. You know what I mean? And it helped definitely. You know what I mean? Of course, Roman Reigns not being in there, it sucked, but definitely was. I don't know, like the show. You know what I mean? It wasn't what we were expecting. You know what I mean? And but I guess everybody even had Liv. You know what I mean? Like, oh, can she take it? But you know what I mean? It didn't happen that way,
And I think that's what they're building up for. And even with that Liv ending too, I think it was a little bit of a botched ending. Yeah, I would have loved to see that.
Imagine that. Yeah.
It's soon enough. I think they were trying to build up to it, because if you watch the end of the Becky Liv match, you can tell when she was going for that final pin, she was trying to grab the rope. And I think that's what they were trying to build to. You can't beat me clean. Well, now Becky's beaten Liv clean once at least. And now it's kind of like, okay, well, the storyline's over from here. And it was kind of like she was trying to use the rope again, and they were trying to build up to like that WrestleMania moment. So I'm excited to see what comes from here. And I think with the whole Roman Reigns situation, now, me being someone that survived COVID twice, I've had original and extra crispy. It is a scary mother, but kudos to them for what they did, mixing it up. And I wish they didn't put the title on Brock, but what could they have done? Brought him out there and said, I want to fight, and then they throw some random person who doesn't see a whole lot of airtime. I mean, I would have loved an opportunity where you swerve everybody. Brock comes out there and says, I'll take on anybody, and out comes Damian Priest. And now we have an Intercontinental Championship match, something that we haven't seen. We see a United States Championship match or whichever. I think I just threw the Intercontinental title on Damian Priest. But
it's all right, same title, different brand.
How do you know? Because you don't really see it outside of Raw, and those matches are building up to what? They're building up to nothing. And you're making this title irrelevant once again. Let's put it on The Miz, who can make a title that's a mid-card title, essentially relevant, and in some cases even more popular than the actual WWE Championship. Look back at the last few times he's held the Intercontinental Championship. People bitched and complained. I forget what pay-per-view it was. It was him versus Dolph Ziggler. And people bitched and complained that it wasn't the main event because there was a bigger storyline. When was the last time you heard that about a mid-card championship other than when The Miz holds it? Put a title on him. If you don't want to make him champion, a WWE champion or Universal champion, you want to get relevancy back to a championship, put back the Intercontinental Championship on him. Put the United States Championship on him and see what he can do. Because right now, I fucked up who the champion even is.
Yeah, it's fucked up that it's been 2 straight pay-per-views that the IC title hasn't even been defended. And when you look back and see who's the one holding it, like, for real, you don't got no kind of creative for.
I don't even know.
Shinsei Nakamura, like, yo, come on, man, like he should be like, come on, you know, it's a travesty, bro. And even Damian Priest having a belt and not even on the show, you know what I mean? Like, to me, every title should be defended at a pay-per-view. You know what I mean? And
you mean like the way it used to be in the story modes when you played the video games?
There you go. You know what I mean? Take it back. Shit. It just, things are not the same, yeah.
Well, like you're talking about Liv Morgan, though, like Liv Morgan, in my opinion, if she doesn't win that title soon, she's going to win Money in the Bank and then cash in and get it that way. That's what I can see is going to happen. She's going to win the women's Money in the Bank. That is if they have enough women participants in any other future women's match, because, you know, they seem to get rid of all the women before anybody else. So I could see her definitely getting the Money in the Bank and then cashing in on her in just the most awesome opportunity ever. Like Edge did it before and everybody else in the past.
Yeah, well, talking about Edge, right?
Oh, yeah, speaking of Edge, Edge versus Miz, okay? We had this match go on, and we had another Brood-ish entrance by Edge. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and say this. I'm gonna leave it here. For now on, Edge, that's how you come out. When you come out on Raw, when you come out on pay-per-views, damn the old on this day, just stick with the Brood. Stick with the Brood, because a darker Edge, to me, because it's kind of hard to be the rated R superstar when you really can't be rated R, you know, especially in the PG era. But the Brood, you can do that in any era, especially with the black blood. It ain't like it's red. And that Edge, to me, it's nostalgia, but at the same time, it's drawing more people in. To me, that Edge is more exciting than rated R Edge at this moment, in my opinion.
Yeah,
and I think that at this very moment, I mean, you know, if you go back and watch the match, it was a little slow. And I mean, at certain points, you could see Miz selling the move before the move was even done. And it was like, I don't know if that was to help accommodate Edge, or if it was a little bit of jitters by Miz or what. But all in all, towards the end of the match, it started to come all together. And then, fresh off of her stepping down from NXT, who pops up with her hair not finished braided? Beth Phoenix. That's right.
Betty. Yeah. Right there. Yeah. Rest in peace to Betty White. You know what I mean? She I don't know, y'all remember back like 7 years ago, she was on Raw, you know.
Big Show.
Yeah. And with the Big Show, yeah, man. Good
I'm
times,
gonna
man.
get some ass.
Yeah. Yeah, but shit. I forgot what I was gonna say.
That's all
Yeah,
right. Go ahead, Jose, because you got something on your mind, brother.
I'm a huge fan of the Brood version of Edge, but I was so pissed off Atlanta didn't really get behind that entrance.
Yeah. And it's
They
crazy.
didn't get into it. That pissed me off.
Yeah. Do you think that they should somewhat like sprinkle Gangrel? Like somehow? Or is it his past porno directing affect him from coming back?
I don't see how you got a whole ass Xavier Woods who was literally power driving plays inside of a porno a couple of years ago. Okay, they were knocking boots, and he's King Woods. If you drop the S, I'm just gonna leave it there. I'm just gonna leave it there. I will leave it alone.
Now I was gonna say though, I think this Edge, the Brood Edge, is great. I think the whole Alter Bridge, the whole heavy metal entrance is great too. But the thing is, this generation compared to the past with Rated R Edge, I don't really think a almost 50-year-old man sliding under the bottom rope and dry hump in the ring is going to be really a great thing for people to see nowadays, since everybody's got to complain and bitch about shit online. So, I think that this is a perfect way for him to bring back like a piece of his past. But maybe he should get that white poet shirt with the ruffles down the center, man, and throw that shit in there too.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't mind Gangrel coming back. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think the pornos or the porno directing should have anything to do with it. I mean, you had a whole damn character that was supposed to be a porn star in Val Venus. So I don't think him directing the porno should have anything to do with him not being on television. I mean, hell, you bought back Kelly, who posed for Playboy. Okay,
a lot of them pose for Playboy,
and I could keep going on with the names that you let have a one-off, whether that be in a Royal Rumble, a segment, or what have you. I say bring Gangrel back to television and let him be this. I guess his dark passenger in a sense.
And you see Beth Phoenix kind of doing the same thing, some vampire shit. To me, that'd be dope. You know what I mean? I don't know when Blaze about to pop up, but that'll be great. You know what I'm saying? Since, let's say, the vampire thing coming back up, since Twilight ain't coming back. But you know what I'm saying? Like, that could be something, what I mean, they could go get behind, you know what I'm saying? They tried it with Shayna Baszler, but it wasn't the right time.
Was not the right time. Speaking of right time, Clark Street Wrestling, what's up all the way out there in the Shy? They say Edge and The Miz wasn't that bad. It just suffered from being too long of a match. And I agree.
I agree.
That match was as long as a bill from Popeye's Chicken, okay? Very long. It lets you know exactly what you got from top to bottom, 3-piece, 4-piece, extra crispy, extra wet, all that. So it was very, very long. And that was one of my takeaways. Another thing I will say, shout out to the Migos. Migos was out there. The intro video is pretty good, of course. They're there in Atlanta, hometown, everything like that. The fact that they didn't come out with the Street Profits, I felt some type of way. I wasn't mad at it. Because they've been rocking Randy Orton for a minute, so I could see the connection. But I wasn't mad at it, but I was happy that they got their chance to shine. A couple other celebrities in the crowd. You had a West Side Gun, always repping, always inside the front row. You had the longest reigning WCW champion of all time, who's never lost that title, Pastor Troy. They're inside the crowd. They kept focusing on him. That match was good in its own. I mean, obviously, I don't know when this payoff are going to happen with, Riddle and Orton, hopefully sometime around Mania or sometime around Rumble. I would love to see it pay off. But that right there was money. That was golden, man. I mean, when's the last time you seen a number one selling group walk down to the ring and get the chance to pose at a pay-per-view?
I wanted to see them get RKO'd, honestly. That would have been nice.
Yeah, same here.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I can't do mumble rap. I can't do the crackhead mumble rap shit, dude. I just can't.
Oh.
But I think the only reason why they came down with Riddle and Orton is because Riddle had the better weed. Just saying.
I'll give you that. Moving on from that, I guess we can go ahead and talk about what the main event now, right? I mean, we pretty much touched on everything here. So the main event, go ahead and pull up that graphic again with the main event for me real quick with everybody.
Oh yeah.
And I am okay. So you had to say the foul way. So as we said before, Brock was added in the match around. Let's see, Roman made an announcement at 6 o'clock. Brock was in the match by 6:05 p.m. Okay, 5 minutes later, Brock is there, and I'm pretty sure when Brock got there, they said, "Hey, Brock, you don't have a match because Roman has COVID. You can take down the graphic now, but Roman has COVID." And I know Brock Lesnar probably sat there and was like,
I'm leaving here with something. You know what I mean? I'm from around the way. I'm leaving with something.
Okay. My man was going to leave with something. All right. He was not about to just come there and not leave out a champion. But then again, I don't think that he would have beat Roman Reigns if Roman Reigns and him would have had the match.
Mm-hmm.
I think this was going to be drawn out for a while. Now, the match itself was a good match. I mean, I like the fact that Big E off the gate ran up on Brock Lesnar like, "Hey, I ain't no bitch. Like, I'm the champion." Like he ran up on him, clotheslined, and threw him out the ring. And then I like the fact that everyone started jumping Brock. You had Kevin Owens sitting there messing with Brock, doing the whole Brock Lesnar, taunting and things like that. And then we got a good tease between Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar, a match that we've wanted to see since 2018.
It's coming. I think that's where they're going now because they were focused and there was a lot of shots. Them, you know what I mean? Them still shots and just the fact like Brock Lesnar was selling for everybody. You know what I mean? Like he was actually and it's like he didn't want to be there. Like he was into it. You know what I mean? And Brock Lesnar now it's crazy how the tables turn out. People cheering for him, even though on the Twitter verse there was kind of 50-50 or whatever that people wasn't agreeing of him winning. But to me, if that's what we're going with, you know what I mean? For Mania, that'd be great. I have a theory of what could happen. I don't know if, I could wait or ask everybody and I'll tell you.
Go for it.
Tell me.
Go ahead. This your show, Papa. Go ahead.
Boom. Roman Reigns and Brock. They'll both be on the Rumble. And whoever, you know what I mean? And the last two, they faced at Mania to unify the belts.
That's what
or, you know what I'm saying?
Twitter too. Yeah.
Yeah. And one of them, you know what I'm saying? Or one of them go to the, you know what I mean, to the Rumble and win it and then unify the belts. Because right now, the roster's not the same. You know what I mean? You saw in the house shows, you have people from different, you know what I mean, McIntyre and with somebody else and all this shit. So why not unify the belts and just have like Roman Reigns on both shows? You know what I'm saying?
And you know what? I feel that, my brother. I really do. Here's my disconnect. It's a brand split. No, it's not a brand split. It's a brand split. Nah, it's not a brand split. It's a brand split. Listen, I say if you're going to do it, do it. Leave it alone. Shout out to Clark Street Wrestling. Yes, that spear was phenomenal the way Brock sold it. But listen.
Yo, that brand split.
It's hair, whack. It's gear, whack. It's jewelry, whack.
You know what I'm saying? All that shit is fucking whack.
Now,
if it's a brand split, why are these superstars from Raw showing up on SmackDown? Why is the Usos showing up on Raw. If it's not a brand split, don't call it a brand split. You barely have any talent, and I apologize for interrupting you as well, JT.
Go ahead.
But if you're going to call it a brand split, but people can still show up wherever the hell they want, why is it a brand split? Why not just unify everything all together? You don't have enough superstars to really support two champions. Outside of bringing back Brock Lesnar, the only legible person that would even make sense to get pay-per-view buys on SmackDown is Drew McIntyre. And no disrespect to Drew McIntyre, he's a phenomenal worker, but many people are tired of seeing him with the championship. They want someone new. Are you going to put it back on Kofi Kingston? That's the only thing that makes sense.
And Finn Balor, what happened to him?
Nothing. When was the last time you saw him on a pay-per-view?
The payoff. Remember the payoff from that turnbuckle or whatever? Are we gonna get a payoff with him and Cena? You know what I mean, or something like that? They don't know what the fuck they want.
Now, my thing
they recycle too many things over and over again, week in and week out, and that's what everybody starts to notice. You keep recycling the same wrestlers into the same situations, and it's just nothing fresh.
Where's Alexa Bliss?
It can work. It can work. If they do it how they did it when they first did a brand split back when Stephanie McMahon was running SmackDown and you had Eric Bischoff running Raw, if they did it with that concept and did it that way, it can totally work. But the only big difference is that the amount of talent and the amount of top guys that you had back then versus now. And it's kind of hard to go ahead and, have long-term booking with COVID happening, as well as you also got to look at the fact that people getting released from their contracts left and right. So it's a lot of things that factor into it. Now, my whole thing is, what was the whole reason for you to do this big draft and then come up with this notion, hey, let's keep everyone happy. Let's go right ahead and unify these titles. Clark Street Wrestling says, what's more important than unifying the titles for WWE? Merch sales. That is exactly right. Because at this point, they are buying this shit, okay? They got the red version, they got the blue version of the Universal title. And let's not forget. The number one title in WWE before Roman caught COVID, and we wish you a speedy recovery, Roman, was the Universal title. WWE title was not getting any love in the main event, okay? And you can go all the way back to when the Miz had it. You can go all the way back to when Bobby Lashley had it. You can go all the way back to even when Drew McIntyre had the championship. The Universal title was a title that they were making to be the title. And if you go ahead and unify these titles, then literally, what was the reason for it? Now, I can understand with the tag team division, there's nothing going on there. There's at least 6 tag teams, if that. And when I say 6 tag teams, I mean legit 6 tag teams. Not some tag team that you put together and say, hey, let's give them a funky ass name and see how this works out. Like there's a legit 6. But that's 6 altogether between 2 brands. That's not enough to support a tag team division. I can see that. You have enough people, but they're not all being featured. So what do? You could do the whole Tony Khan route and do a whole 10-man tag team match, but then you have a clusterfuck. Or you can go ahead and start utilizing these people, start doing specials. I don't know, maybe 1 Raw and 1 SmackDown for 2 weeks straight. Have a tag team tournament where you bring in new tag teams. Kind of like what you did when you tried to reintroduce the brand split. When you bought back what's the name of those guys? The Headbangers and things like that. Like, there's ways that you can make it work. Do I ultimately believe it's going into a unification? Absolutely. Because you got to keep both sides happy. You got to keep Fox happy, and you got to keep USA happy. When you got 2 companies paying you a total of $3 billion, 1.5 billion apiece, you got to make certain sacrifices. But at what extent are you going to make this sacrifice? Because if you go ahead and do this with unifying these titles, guess what problem you run right back into? Too many damn talent, Too many talent, not enough title pictures for people to go ahead and get involved in.
You know, and I was gonna say next week, you know what I mean, talking about unifying, you know what I mean, this happening next Tuesday. They unifying the cruiserweight and the North American, and you know what I mean, the cruiserweight to me, it should be a belt that should still be relevant, you know what I mean, with all the talent, you know what I mean. That 205, that was the total fuck up, you know what I mean, and it just, I don't know what was the reason of the belt, you know what I mean, like.
You really want to know?
Yeah, what is that?
You really want to know?
I mean, I just said that, but yeah, I know. It's just WWE.
Yeah, I mean, the Cruiserweight Championship has never done any championship that this does not have heavyweight behind it does not do well in WWE. You can go all the way back to the lightweight heavyweight championship. You can go all the way back to the Cruiserweight Championship and to the now current the European. Well, no, European did not have heavyweight in it. You're right. That's another one. Like, it does not do well. And my thing is, they had plenty of opportunity to fix this. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. That should have never been a 205 live. Never been a 205 live. They should have kept the tournament style. If you were gonna do anything, I would have kept that whole Cruiserweight Classic style that y'all had, and that would have been my show if I was going to do each show. But they totally screwed that up. And now you're getting ready to combine two titles. You got Melo and you got Roger Strong. And I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Melo don't miss. Melo's going to be the one walking out with that title. I hate to say it. Roger Strong is possibly he may be the better wrestler. But Melo's going to walk out because it's all about youth. And Roger Strong is at least 48 years old. Okay? I got to have proof that he's younger than that.
Yeah, definitely, man.
He has an old man face.
Like you were talking about 205 Live, I also thought that was kind of a bad idea for a TV show. Like, if they're going to do anything TV-wise, they should either brought back Sunday Night Heat or did like a Thursday Night Thunder again and, you know, showcase talent like that. But just to make a whole show surrounded by the cruiserweight division, I wasn't fond of it. I never really even watched much of it. I mean, I turned it on in the beginning and I'm like, yeah, not my thing.
Yeah, but so overall, what you guys take on Brock being the champion now? Yeah, looking forward for, let's say, Raw Monday, or he's not gonna be a no-show on Monday. What's gonna happen?
Go ahead, Jose.
I mean, I like Brock as a face, but I don't like him with the belt, man. But I don't know. I'm interested in see where they're going with it. I don't know where they're going with it, but
go ahead, Pat.
I've kind of thought of a couple different scenarios. So this could ultimately come down to being Brock and Big E, and this could be a big draw out. They could pull in the whole Kofi angle, how he defeated Kofi in under 10 seconds or something like that. That's a great tie-in. And they can build from there. It could be that ultimate payoff where we see Bobby Lashley. It could see reintroduction to the Kingslayer. So there's ultimate opportunities available. It just matters how they're going to book everything. We know they haven't done a great job of booking anything recently. So am I optimistic? No. Am I going to tune in? Maybe. Am I excited that Brock Lesnar won the championship? Not really. So ultimately, I liked more what they could have did with Big E, where this could have went with Big E. And what could have happened with Seth Rollins too, and also with Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens started off in the championship match, then they had one more person, then they had one person, then they had a fifth person to the match in the equation. That's how the storyline should be, but it shouldn't be with Brock Lesnar at the helm because we're never going to see him. He's not going to be a main fixture on the show. He's not going to be there every single week. So it's going to be four individuals that were also inside of that match that are fighting for that spot, and the champion's not even there to defend his words or his title. We're probably not going to see it until Mania anyway.
That is so right.
That's probably going to be all five of them at Elimination. Well, all all 4 of them with the introduction of 2 additional people at Elimination Chamber, and the winner faces them at Mania. And that's how it's probably going to be.
I mean, that's the way it has been, so I could definitely rock with that. Overall, Mr. Casanova, what do you think about Brock with the title?
Well, it makes sense. I didn't want to see it either, but the whole pay-per-view is pretty much predictable with all the wins, in my opinion. So it just made sense to put him on there. Nobody really wants to see him with that, just like nobody wants to see Tom Brady win another Super Bowl ring. I mean, it's the same shit. I mean, it just makes sense, though, for him to have the belt right now until, Roman comes back and they, set up a storyline between those two, battling head-to-head. So it is what it is for right now. It was just a last-minute thing because, the Rona reared its ugly head again. So, by the way, fuck the Rona, too. Just had to throw that in there.
Where's to live by? El Cheech.
Fuck the Rona? Oh man, nah. It's like seeing Brock now. You know what I mean? Like it look interesting. We just got to see if he's gonna be a regular, which people it's hard to believe. You know what I mean? But the way things are now, as y'all will, I don't know if y'all heard, WWE gonna stop testing for the coronavirus. You know what I mean? Which is crazy. So it's another one. So imagine what things gonna happen. So it's like with I think the NFL might take some stand on something like that, but it's for the asymptomatic. Um, you know what I mean? So they'll move them around, whatever. But how is that gonna turn out? You know what I mean? I don't know. But I just hope that I get Lashley versus Brock. You know what I mean? And see where they go from there. You know what I mean? Because to me, that's a match. Yeah, a match long overdue, and it's there. You know what I mean? It's there in their hands. So why not? You know what I mean? What you might call it? The um the you know what I'm saying? The momentum now. I forgot what I was gonna say, but you know what I mean? Like just go ahead and do it now. You know what I'm
And
saying?
not to mention, they're both MMA guys, so that's what's going to make it even more sweet, just because they both got that MMA background.
No, they got the wrestling background. You know what I mean? They
That
got
too.
you know what I mean? Yeah, that definitely gonna play a part. And MVP, you know what I mean? Ever since he came back, he's been money. You know what I mean? So I'm pretty sure that the the storyline will be great. You know what I'm saying?
It's just a question of when the storyline's going to happen, though, because if history repeats itself, WWE isn't going to throw it at us right away. We can see the writing on the wall and know that they're building towards it, but it doesn't mean that we're going to get it at Mania. If anything, we're probably going to get it at SummerSlam, and they'll have it a long, drawn-out thing in hopes that we're just going to continuously watch. But there's 5 of us inside of the room, just like 5 individuals in the main event last night, and all of us are sitting there looking, and we're saying to ourselves, you know what, this isn't going to pay off right now, but if you keep watching, you're going to see it pay off. And the 5 of us are looking at it like, oh, well, I'm probably not going to tune in tomorrow. I'm not either. And everyone's saying the same thing. We're kind of just getting sick and tired of it. And there's other promotions that are thriving that way, mostly independent, but like these bigger promotions, that they're doing the long drawn out and people are getting burned out. And in the society that we have right now, we want instant gratification. We want this match now. Don't make us wait for it. Give it to us now.
I'm with it. I definitely agree with all y'all sentiments. I will say this. How do I feel? Do I like the fact that Big E pretty much got shitted on? No. Was it the smart business decision? Yes. Did I like the fact that after the match, my man Big E was on the side of the apron, just sitting down looking disappointed? No. I don't like to see that picture because Big E did everything that he can do with the little bit of direction that they gave him with the title. I mean, they had very little direction for him, but he did everything that he can do. But I will say this though. I mean, just move on from day one. I do know that we got a few things popping off this week. You already mentioned it earlier with the unification at New Year's Evil. We also have the debut of AEW on TBS. So, I mean, since it's here, I don't know how y'all feel about it, but I say that since New Year's Evil is coming up, and I'm pretty sure these people are going to be listening to the podcast this week, like y'all usually do, make sure you listen to this episode Monday, which is the day it's going to come out, or listen to it Tuesday, however you feel. I'm just going to get these predictions real quick for New Year's Evil. So you already heard mine already. My prediction for the unification match is going to be Mello. They're going with youth. Roger Strong is obviously 48 years old. There's nothing else that you can tell me unless I see identification. That is an old man's face on a young man's body. So I'm going to go with Roger Strong. NXT 2.0 is all about youth. And I don't know, maybe this may be the thing that gets them out of NXT and on the, AEW with the rest of his little homies from the Undisputed Era.
I thought he signed.
Listen, signing the contract don't mean shit. You know that. Listen, if you don't believe me, ask Hit Row.
Oh, but that's in the main roster. I don't think on the NXT.
Okay, well, listen, if you don't believe me, ask Scarlett.
You're right.
I can keep going on. There was 81 people in total. They released in 2021. Okay, that's just a few of the names. There's a whole 79 other people I can go down the list that signed the contract. But definitely, I could see Mello winning this match. Who you got winning this unification match, Pat?
I don't see them eliminating the North American Championship and making the Cruiserweight Championship, which is ultimately a championship designed for people under 205 pounds, where they're trying to go towards a big man sport. It's North American Championship, so I'm going with Mello too.
Okay, Jose.
Yeah, man. Mello don't miss, like you said.
All right, Mr. Casanova.
Mello's the one and only choice, hands down.
Oh, wow. You like that. You sounded so seductive. He's the only one.
Ow.
Yeah. Ow. No, yeah, definitely, man. Across the board. Mello don't miss. And it's the youth movement down there, so it's a no-brainer.
All right. Then we got this the special 6-man tag. If it does happen, or this tag team match, if it does happen, we'll see what happens. I mean, you got MSK going up against Imperium. So basically, I'm gonna go ahead and put it out there. You got an upper versus a downer. Okay. Anytime I'm on the up.
Yo.
You got an upper versus downer, yo. So if I'm gonna go ahead and go with it, I'm going with the upper. I love to be up. So with that being said, I'm going with MSK. Who you got, Pat?
Well, you know me, I love a good hybrid. Just mix the two together. But ultimately, I'm going for Imperium. I think it's going to build up for potential Riddle versus Walter, which I think is a match that all of us want to see. We want to see Walter go up to the main roster and start smacking some people around. So I'm shooting for Imperium this time. I'm going with the downer.
Oh man, Jose, come on, man, come through.
Downer. I'm a big fan of Imperium. I want to see Walter in the main roster as well. I'm okay, but I'm gonna give it to Imperium.
Okay, so you going with Imperium? Come on, Mr. Casanova, what you got, bro?
So normally against anybody else, I would choose Imperium just because of the superior tag team on the show, but I got to go with Team High.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. Got to be up. It's 2022. Don't nobody want to be just stuck there. LT, who you got?
Well, I gotta go with the Familia. MSK all day, you know what I'm saying? Riddle, those money, and although seeing Walter in the mix, it's like, yo, who's gonna take the L? You know, gonna be the little guy Archer. But yeah, definitely I'm gonna go with the downer, you know what I'm saying? Because in hindsight, what is it? The shaman? He's the shaman. I don't like, you know what I mean? It's like, wow, y'all need so much people, you got to bring them down. He was just there, you know, not that long ago, you could say, in NXT. But I guess, whatever the plans is, they definitely giving him a lot of TV time. And Matt Riddle, he could go. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm gonna go with MSK for real, for real.
Matt Riddle is Spicoli from Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
I'm gonna go with this next match. Just go ahead. I don't have the graphic. That's on me. Mandy Rose versus Cora Jade versus Raquel Gonzalez in a triple threat match. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put it out there right now. You ready? The person that's gonna win that match is going to be Mandy Rose. She's gonna retain. I don't see. Look at my back. Gonzalez winning this match at all. I think she's going to the main roster where she needs to be at, and that's simply my opinion. Jose, who you got?
Yeah, I'm agree with you. I'm going to agree with you. I'm going with Mandy Rose. Raquel Gonzalez is going to the main roster. She has to. Cora Jade is not ready, so Mandy Rose.
Pat,
I'm with you 100%. Mandy Rose. Raquel's going to the main roster.
Mr. Casanova.
Mandy Rose all the way.
Hell Cheech.
Yeah, I'll go with Mandy Rose. I forgot the name of the other chick, the skateboard chick.
Cora Jade.
Yeah, Corey J. She's not gonna win. She's young, right? She's 19,
She's like 20
20
or 21, I think.
Yeah, too soon. That's the one that put Darby Allin in her place. So in a way, I got a few good points for her. But yeah, Mandy Rose, man, she eye candy. You know what I'm saying? Man, she love.
Big time love. And then last
Yo,
but not least,
what did he do?
He took his shirt off and basically walked off the field.
Oh no, he took everything off. He took his pads off, his shirt, his gloves, like everything. Literally just walked to the locker room. It was insane.
But why? I mean, was it for good?
Antonio Brown?
Well,
No,
he used
he's
to
not
play
on the
with
team
the
anymore. He's gone now. They got him off the
they
team.
released
He's
him.
cut.
Oh, they probably told him in the sideline, like, "Yo, you're gonna
He's
get
always
cut."
been a hothead. He was a hothead back when he was part of the Steelers and stuff like that. I mean, the
But
guy
it's
is
crazy because I saw that if he would have ended the season or something like that, he would get some bonuses and stuff like that. So that was the last game of the season today.
No.
Oh, no.
It's still going on.
Oh, okay.
We
the
got
Browns are out though.
Well,
thanks for reminding me.
Yeah, you didn't have to bring that shit up.
Yeah, what the fuck? That's supposed to be fun.
I mean, so are my Dolphins, but I'm not gonna bring that up. Main event, you got Tommaso Ciampa going up against Braun Breaker, and I'm gonna go in and say it. It's a youth movement. I feel like they're gonna go with Braun Breaker.
Braun Breaker.
Yeah. Who else going with Braun Breaker? Okay. We got Braun Breaker with Dark Match Podcast.
Breaker.
We got Jose going with Braun Breaker. L Cheats going with Braun Breaker. Mr. Casanova.
Yeah, I gotta say Braun Breaker, but they still need to change his fucking name. They need to go with Steiner. I'm sorry, he's always a Steiner. He was born to be a Steiner. Call him Bronson Steiner.
It's stupid.
I mean, hey, you never know. I mean, maybe
he's already talking. He talks like his uncle and he barks like his dad. I mean, Jesus Christ, man. I mean, he's the whole package right there.
I don't know. You never know. Maybe him winning this title, he may, and now you address me by my real name. I don't know. We'll, may see that. And two more things. I just want to go ahead and predict for next week at AEW, and then we can go ahead and pull out. Actually, before we pull out, Tony Storm asked for a release. Does anyone care?
Yeah. Vamos a hablar. La Tony Storm. It was a lot of reports of what could have happened. But when you got somebody of this, like this, she's 24. Am I correct?
Yeah, she's young.
Looking like this? Ay, Dios mío. It's crazy. She's talented, you know what I'm saying? And it's already
Yeah.
taken. They took notice, you know what I mean? They took notice, so you know what I mean? That's one possible destination for her, and it's fucked up, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of people don't know what actually happened. You had the reports, the burnout, whatever, but he haven't spoken to anybody. So it's just probably she just not with it. You're like, fuck this shit. I'm out.
Very depressing. We will not be seeing any more cakes anytime soon.
Shit, I'm
Not
gonna
from
see
her.
it.
Not
Not from
from her,
her.
but look at here.
There's always gonna be
Yeah,
cakes. It ain't gonna be Tony time, but it's gonna be cakes out there. I tell you that.
yeah,
Hot
look at it.
cakes, warm cakes, all sorts of cakes. Another match for AEW. These two matches, of course, we got part two. Hangman Page going up against Daniel Bryan on TBS Championship on the line. Who do y'all have winning this match? Let's go ahead and start off with Pat.
I see it going to a time limit once again. They're going to piss off a lot of people, but I don't think they're going to have that payoff on free TV. They're going to save it for a pay-per-view. It's going to go to a time limit again.
Ooh. Jose, what you got?
I didn't even think about that, but that's a great way of looking at it. I'm going with him. I agree with him. Another tie.
Okay. Go ahead, Mr. Casanova.
Doesn't matter how you want to put it. Paige is keeping that title.
Paige is keeping. Okay. That wasn't Lana or Eva. Tony is too nice in the ring. Okay. I agree. Tony is nice inside the ring, but guess what, baby girl? You just got a promotion. Okay, you went from the corner office facing the wall to a cubicle facing the wall. It's like there's levels to this shit. I'm not saying that she should deal with the shit that she went through, but I'm also saying that things don't happen as fast as you want them. Okay, just because you get a promotion,
Remember, she was there for a long time before she was up, and they didn't use her right. You know what I mean?
No, she was there. She was there in WWE, as far as the NXT UK, NXT brand. But
It was five in NXT UK.
And the main roster, she's been there since like the summer.
Nah,
she's only been there a few months.
Yeah,
she was on a lot of house shows. She wasn't doing a whole lot of main TV time.
She was in the roster. She was in the main roster, but she wasn't being used. That's what I mean.
Yeah. I mean, but it's 4 months with 20 other women on the roster. We still don't even know how to manage the 5 women that we have, quote unquote, over. So how we gonna bring another new one into the fold if we can't
she saw that.
5?
She probably saw that. All my people.
I'm just gonna say, get rid of Charlotte, bring back Tony. Sorry, not sorry.
Nah,
I wouldn't be either.
That's exactly what it was. All her people gone, and she was like, "Well, Tegan gone. Yo, I'm out."
The fuck are you talking about? The fuck are you talking about?
Last match that I do want to talk about is for the TBS Championship. Go ahead and throw up that graphic for next week. Who do we have? We have, of course, facing off against. Next week, not the week.
Okay.
Yeah, we already saw that one.
We got Ruby Soho going up against Jade. All right. I'm just sorry. Every time I see Jade, she just does something to me. Whether it be Jade, Thunder Rosa, I mean, I could keep going on with the list of names. Tony, they just do something to me where I can't control myself, and that's one of the reactions that you may hear from me when those names come up. I'm gonna go planning and say it. It's that bitch show. It's the TBS Championship. It's going to Jade.
So it's light up. So you think, I don't know if we touched on this earlier. Her involvement now, does that makes it even shoe in for Jay to beat Ruby Soho and not not make her look weak by having Martinez on the side, right?
Yeah, but at the same time, even with Mercedes Martinez there, I don't think she's gonna be as involved into the match as a Jamie Hayter would be with the Britt Baker. You know what I'm saying?
But you think Jade is just gonna beat her straight up?
I mean, it ain't gonna be straight with no chaser, but I will say this: that majority of the match it will be Jade and Ruby Soho. But yes, Mercedes Martinez will get involved towards the end, like she did with Thunder Rosa, or maybe Thunder Rosa comes down there to even the odds, and maybe we get something that ends up going off where it's another match where you get Thunder Rosa versus Mercedes Martinez and a whole entire feud. We don't know how this is gonna go, but I do know one thing for sure: that girl Jade, yeah, she walking out with the championship. And she will be the TBS champion. Come on now, don't do that again. All right, sorry. But
I'm just gonna say I'm going with Jade. I'm going with Jade, 100%.
Oh, definitely
Jade.
Yeah.
Jade.
Pat, who you got, Jade or you got Ruby?
Ruby Soho.
All right.
I'm gonna be the minority here.
So you go over Ruby, okay. Last minute rumor news: X-Pac possibly returning to wrestling.
Yeah.
I'm not
At the Rumble. Yeah, the Rumble. You know, it's the perfect time. You know,
I'm not opposed. I am not opposed.
we don't got no, picture or whatever, but if y'all see him as of late, he's in great, you know what I mean? He looked great, you know what I'm saying? His physique and all that stuff, you know what I mean? Got a great look. So one more run at the Rumble, I think it's fitting, you know what I'm saying, to come in and do a few cross shops, you know what I mean? And I think it'll be good.
As long as he doesn't do the Bronco Buster again, because I heard on an interview through another podcast years ago that he went out for one. He basically went full throttle on the Bronco Buster, and I guess he like split his asshole open or some shit like that.
Yeah, he split his asshole open. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure he's well healed now.
I mean, hopefully.
That's not a chance I'd be wanting to take again. Just saying.
No.
I don't know, but hey, you got the time?
I don't know, man. Let me see. What time is it?
It's real simple, B. It says wrap it up. Wrap that shit up, B.
Yo, listen, we want to thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure y'all most definitely continue to tune in with us. Make sure you definitely follow our two friends at the bottom. Go ahead, Jose. Tell them where they can follow you at, Poppy.
Follow me at Jose Tekka on Twitter, Instagram. Follow Willie's World 47, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook as well. Get your Colombian food. Let me cater your party, your wedding, your breakup party, whatever. I cater it all.
Break us up. Hey, he do breakup parties and everything. So if y'all feel like dumping somebody before Valentine's Day, this is the person that you want to call.
I will feed you.
Yeah, I mean, because you need to be fed, especially when you get dumped. Just saying. Also, Pat, thank you for joining the show today. It's been a long time coming. I mean, the last time you was on this show, you were interviewing me. But let the people know where they can follow you and where the hell have you been?
Where the hell have I been? That's a great question. So I think I've actually been on like every edition. If you were to look at it from like a season standpoint, I was on here at the very beginning. I think I've been on here with almost every single co-host and collaboration that you've had so far. But where have I been? Life. We unfortunately haven't dropped an episode since October of 2019. I would love. I'm sorry, 2020. Not that long we've been off the air, but life's happened. There's a lot going on. Really not going to get into the details. Maybe you'll hear from us soon. Maybe you won't. Don't really want to spoil anything. But you can find us on Twitter at Dark Match PC. You can find us at Dark Match Podcast on Instagram. You can go through. You can find us everywhere where you get your podcasts. Just search the Dark Match Podcast. You can go through our archives. We had everyone that you could possibly imagine, from representatives that are currently on AEW, currently inside of WWE right now. We have interviews with Wardlow. We have interviews with Sammy Guevara. We have interviews with Tony Storm, not the one that we were just talking about, but a different one if you didn't know that already. But there's a laundry list. We're currently at 99 episodes, so we've been waiting a long time to drop number 100. Maybe it's coming soon, maybe it's not. Maybe we've hung it up, but you'll just have to wait and see and follow along.
Hey, well, as usual, per usual, as we always say, listen, two public service announcements. It is 2022. It does not change what we say on this show. First of all, too much negativity can have you unbalanced mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Listen, spread more positive vibes, okay? It takes very little to build someone up than it does to tear them down. Think about the logic inside that message. It can be very simple as, I don't know, paying someone a compliment. Telling someone something good about himself. Going to whatamovie.net, purchasing the positive vibes only apparel. It is hoodie season. Go ahead and get yourself a hoodie, a sweater. It ain't got to be for you. Get it for someone who may need it. Okay, it's cold out here in these streets. Valentine's Day is definitely around the corner. A lot of people may end up single, so they may need a sweater to keep them warm. I'm just saying. But also, COVID is still here, okay? It hasn't gone nowhere. It is on the fourth remix. It went from P. Diddy to Jermaine Dupri. Now it looks like Little John and DJ Khaled has remixed this COVID variant. So as we have said before in the beginning, and we're going to keep on telling you this until y'all get the concept, okay? Listen, the easiest way to combat COVID is very easy, okay? It starts off with good. Now, I'm going to take that back. Great hygiene, okay? First of all, you want to do something. First of all, you want to wash your hands, okay? Most importantly, wash your ass. As that guy on the left would say who's missing, use soap, please, okay? And as El Cheech would say, let the people know how they got to do this, Poppy.
From face to ass, not ass to face.
Okay, it's very simple, okay? Wash your hands, wash your ass, use soap from face to ass, and not ass to face.
And please don't forget deodorant, body spray, and take care of that mouth too. Nobody wants to smell some stank ass breath either.
I mean, that is all important about good hygiene. I'm not sure that's going to help combat COVID, but washing your hands and washing your ass will definitely do that for you. But on that note, we love y'all. Happy New Year to you. New Year, true colors. And with that being said, we are out this piece. We love y'all and peace, right?
Peace out.
This bitch got me paid.
We out. That was